friends in Newcastle. Dr. Butchie here with another story on Abraham Lincoln. I found this after I already had used The Boy Who Looked Like Lincoln. And we're going to do our challenge with cleaning pennies. That's why we focused on Lincoln. This one's called I Am Abraham Lincoln by Brad Meltzer. I am Abraham Lincoln. When I was little, even young boys were expected to work on the farm and hunt animals for food. I preferred to read. I also loved animals. When I was 10 years old, I saw a group of boys playing with some turtles. They found turtles? I love turtles. But as I got closer, I realized they weren't playing. They were taking hot coals and putting them on top of the turtles to see what would happen. To them, it was harmless fun. In that moment, I could have just walked away. When you're 10 years old, it's hard to do the right thing, but someone has to. And Abe said, "Let this turtle go." What'd you say? You heard me. Let it go. Those boys let the turtle go. Soon after, I wrote one of my first essays about hurting animals is wrong. That may not seem like a big deal, but back then, most kids and even adults didn't know how to write. In fact, the state of Indiana was so new, schools weren't even built yet. I went to school for barely a year, total, but that didn't stop me. Using chalk, I practiced writing the alphabet on trees. I even wrote in the dirt on the cornfield. When it came to learning, my best teachers were simply books. I loved books so much, I once walked 6 miles, I'm serious, 6 miles to get one. And while waiting in line at the local store, and in one of my favorite positions with my feet up on a tree. Before long, I had read every book in the neighborhood, from the Bible to Aesop's Fables to Robinson Crusoe, but one of my favorites, a book about George Washington. I'd even copy my favorite parts on pieces of wood. And he says, "Did you know that George Washington was a friend of mine? You're a strange boy, Abraham Lincoln." "Yeah, but I'm going to be on the penny someday." "What's penny?" When I was 22 years old, we moved to Illinois, where I met a group of boys known as the Clary's Grove Boys. Everyone in town knew they were bullies. I didn't like bullies, but I was a new guy. When they challenged me, I didn't have much choice. And one of the guys says, "You think you're better than us?" He said, "I never said that." "Don't be chicken. Show us what you got." Today, some may call it a fight, but it was really a wrestling match. Me against their leader, Jack Armstrong. Back then, the rule was, once you grabbed your opponent, you couldn't break your hold. Wham! But Jack did, so he could grab my leg and send me flying. I wasn't mad, I lost. Everyone loses sometimes. What got me upset, he had cheated. Within seconds, they all surrounded me. They were waiting for me to back down or to lose my cool. Instead, calmly and confidently, I told them, "If I have to, I will fight every single one of you fair and square." And they knew I meant it. "You're a strange kid, Abraham Lincoln, but you got guts." "I know. I'm going to be on the penny." "What's a penny?" Sometimes the hardest fights don't reveal a winner, but they do reveal character, especially when you're fighting for something you believe in. Still, not every struggle brought a victory. Years later, I saw a group of slaves chained together on a boat on the Ohio River. Back then, not all people were free. Some were slaves, just because of the color of their skin. They were forced to work without pay. They were treated terribly. I never forgot the sight of that boat. I didn't do anything that day, but for years, the memory of these people, it haunted me. I was still thinking about them when I became president. I lost 4 elections before I got the big job. 4. America was facing one of the greatest fights in our history, the Civil War. One side wanted to let the slaves go free. The other side... If I had turned my head and looked away, I would have avoided the fight. But if I'd learned anything in life, it was this. When someone needed help, it wasn't going to look away. "I'm sorry, I cannot allow that." "What did you just say?" "You heard me. These people will be free." The Civil War lasted longer than anyone thought. The fighting took a terrible toll. People on our side were ready to give up. To re-energize them, we held a big event in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The main speaker gave a speech that lasted nearly 2 hours. I gave a speech that lasted 2 minutes and used only 271 words. The most important 5 words I used: all men are created equal. Soon after, I helped pass a law that ended slavery in America and freed all those people. Then we ended the Civil War. As a result, we didn't just bring together these United States of America, we proved that this government of the people, by the people, and for the people would be dedicated to freedom and justice. In life, strength can take many forms, but there's nothing quite as strong as standing up for someone who needs it. No matter where you're from or how little you have, one thing that can never be taken away from you is your voice. When you find something you believe in, use your voice. And when you see injustice, speak louder than you've ever spoken before. When you do, it'll never be forgotten. And the little girl says, "Hey, look, he's on the penny." And that is the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. I am Abraham Lincoln. I will never stop fighting for what's right, and I hope you'll remember that when you speak your mind and speak for others. There's no more powerful way to be heard. And there's some pictures of the real Abraham Lincoln. And that was just another story to add to our February study, and watch for the Cleaning Pennies video. Till next time. Bye.